have. I think I'm gonna get rid of these. This one is really good though. Decent enough. On max luck gear. I'll put on all my other mining gear, I guess. I think that's actually all of it. It's sad that I have all these items. I think I'm just going to vendor them. Okay. Purpose of having strength or good stats on your mining gear. So whenever you have mining gear, you want to have it have strength. Now the reason why you want strength is because strength is the stat that synergizes with mining. So like intellect is it intelligence? I don't even know. Synergizes with harvesting, and constitution synergizes with lumber working, as you guys have seen before. And in what way? I'll show you. You can just open up your thing and look for yourself. So mining speed, nothing there. You get encumbrance though. Mined items, reduced weight. Mining speed again. 10% more whenever you are mining. And this is a 25% chance whenever you hit a mine, probably the first time, because that's the way they the lumber working one works, that it will just instantly complete. So it's very good, and I would recommend people to look at those different breakpoints. One swing mining. Yeah, I don't really do that a lot because like a lot of the mining stuff is already super fast. Works like the login one? Yeah, I assume so. It's good to know. Gotta just farm out more iron. Worth to respec to full strength before going on a mining session? Personally, I don't know. Like, it's not something I'd want to do. Like, I think that the spectacle of cutting down a tree in one hit was the reason why I wanted to respec and do the Constitution thing. Because it's just like the idea, you know, of fucking going big dick Paul Bunyan on it. Like, that just sounds really fucking cool. Do you think the 65 portals are really bugged, or do you think they just don't want us farming 65 portals yet? Honestly, man, I bet they're probably just fucking broken. Just like everything else in the game is. That's what I think. I think they're just fucking broken. They work on some server apparently? Oh, really? Maybe we should try them. Let me guess, not Olympus. Not fucking Olympus. No reason to play. Are you bored? Of course you are. It's 3 AM and you're watching a Twitch stream. What else do you have to do? I hate backseating, but I wish to remind you that the collab event in Final Fantasy 14 ends in 4 days. Yeah, I hate backseating too, actually. It's actually a good... Yeah, I'm glad that we're on the same page there. I feel the same way. What's my reason to play? The game's very relaxing for me, and I can play it without really having to worry about anything. I can just chill out and just enjoy myself while I'm doing it. And it's calming. There's not a lot of like stress at all in the game. It's something I can just fucking invest time into. Yeah. We ever try out invasions? Yeah, I will at some point. Comes to just chatting stream? Yeah, like right now I'm just mining, like it's whatever. I enjoy that. Yeah, I also want to say, like, the reason why I didn't want to do, like, that 10,000 sub ultimate bet thing is, like, that it's the same kind of stuff, right? Where people are, like, trying to, like, remind me all the time that this thing is existing, right? It's like, hey, just by the way, I don't know if did you remember about the thing? It was just it's kind of the same thing, and that's why I just kind of stopped doing it, because it was just that shit got so weird. Yeah, it's just that people, I don't want to deal with that. Started out as fun. Well, it's fun to me, right? Like, because in my perspective, right? You look at it from my perspective, imposing an artificial deadline on yourself. But like the thing is, I'm not though. Like that. This is the. Like, you're looking at it from your perspective, but whenever you look at it from my perspective, this is how I see it. I'm doing an event that increases the stakes of the stream, and I think it makes it more exciting, and it's a win-win situation for me, right? I win because I either complete an ultimate or I don't, and I gift my community a bunch of subs. And then maybe some of those people might stick around, maybe not. So like this is there's no outcome for that bet that is bad for me. You see what I'm saying? So like other people didn't see it that way, but that was the way that I saw it. I didn't see it like that at all. I was like, this is just for fun, right? Why check it weird? I don't know. People caring about outcome more than I do. Yeah, exactly. Or it's like, to me, it's like, you know, either way, it's fine. Seemed like a lot of undue pressure, though. Well, see, like, the thing is, to me, is like, there was no undue pressure on me personally, because I wasn't worried about it, because there was no negative outcome for me. You see what I'm saying? Like, this was a win-win situation for me. So, like, I had no pressure on me because I wasn't worried about what could have happened. You see what I'm saying? I think it's people projecting the pressure onto me. Check out weird, bring up the topic of being held accountable for things you say and do. Check out influenced and held you accountable more than usual. The thing is, like, whenever I talk about, like, accountability, I'm talking about, like, things that matter. Like, not gifted subs in a Twitch channel. Like, I don't know. Like, whenever I think about accountability, I'm thinking about, like, you know, the Blizzard lawsuit, or I'm thinking about, you know, Twitch allowing something or whatever. I'm not thinking about gifting subs in chat. Yeah, do things like that doesn't matter to a lot of people? Whenever it involves money, it's important. Yeah, but it doesn't involve money at all. Like there's no possibility where they could receive money. Yeah, like it's not their money. They can't win the money. It's just, I don't know. Like I just thought it was just so weird and ridiculous. I was just like, okay, yeah, fuck this. This is weird. And like in a way, right? It's my fault because like it's like if you do something and people don't like it, it's at the end of the day, it's your fault. It's your stream, etc. But it's definitely something I learned not to do. General, more laid-back approach, letting Yoshi P talk to content creators makes the game more healthy than Blizzard. It only sends lead figures out whenever they feel like they have to get a win. Listen, that's not the only thing that they do that's different. I'm just so sick of thinking about that company run by morons. Like, it's so exhausting to think about. It's just annoying. The personalities there are just so pretentious and off-putting. There's just... It's like, you know what it's like? It's like you have an entire company of people that are like the streamers that... like they constantly complain about like live stream fails or something like that, you know? Like they're just always complaining about haters. Like there's something like I'll talk about this like sometimes, right? Especially in like my second channel because I think it's interesting. But like if you ask any of my friends, like I very rarely complain about like a hate thread or something like that about me. Like I don't like them, but I don't really this does not occupy a lot of real estate in my mind. People complain about Reddit, but always read it. Yeah, it's just like you have a whole company of people that are like that. It's just fucking exhausting, man. Absolutely fucking exhausting. You ever do much aside from laughing and all stuff? Well, I think it's like, it's not really about like LSF, like, it doesn't matter. Like the point is that these are people who like are constantly negative, constantly worried about these types of things. It's just exhausting to be around a person like that. And it's just like, it's off-putting and just stressful. Emotional vampires, yeah. Confident the whole situation will improve over time. It'll take time and take Blizzard to get back to what it used to be with the right people behind it. The thing is, like, though, but like that what it used to be was like a bunch of weirdos like molesting their employees, apparently, right? And it's like us is like, this is not our. I'll say one thing too. Like, this is not our. Like, if you're you know, you're a World of Warcraft player, you're a Diablo fan, whatever, it is not your responsibility to care about what happens at the company between the employees. This is not your responsibility as a customer. Your responsibility as a customer is to choose what you want to buy. And I hate the idea that customers should be morally responsible for purchasing some sort of a product or having some sort of empathy or something like that. If I go to McDonald's and the manager broke up with his girlfriend that day and they just decided they're not going to sell fish fillets anymore because that was her favorite dish, I'm still pissed off. It's like, this is nice, you know, this is your personal problem, but start making the fish fucking fillets. She's ordering one. You know? And that's what it comes down to, right? Jason Schreier doesn't like that take. Well, the thing is, like, and this is the truth, is that whenever you're in charge of the IP, I think that to a certain degree, especially with an IP that's has as much tenure as World of Warcraft does, you don't own the IP. You are the steward of that IP. You are supposed to allow that IP to grow, and it's not your place to inject your own personal agenda into it, because it exists independently of yourself. And I also want to say that anybody has, like, they're developers. They can do whatever they want with the game. They can do anything they want. But you know what else? The customer can say anything they want about the game, and you can't tell them they're wrong just because they disagree with you. Customer won't buy your game. Yeah, exactly. And this is the beauty of the free market, is that the customer doesn't have to buy the game, and the developer doesn't have to make the game the way the customer wants. And isn't that a beautiful thing? Isn't that a good thing? That nobody has to do something that they don't want to do. That's so good. And I'm not being sarcastic at all. I think that is a genuinely good thing. Put this away. Put this garbage away. Holy fuck, this stuff takes up so much space. This is insane. What else can I throw away? Iron hide, nobody cares about that. Thick hide, nobody cares about that either. Can farm that out in like 15 minutes. No, this isn't about like capitalism, or like, I don't give a fuck what your opinion is about capitalism or socialism or whatever. It doesn't matter. This is just a situation in the world that we live in, whether you like it or not. And the truth is, like, I do think that this is good, though. Both parties have freedom of choice. And I think that customers should spend more time exercising that freedom of choice. Whenever you feel like you're being ignored, whenever you feel like you're being pushed aside or not taken seriously as a customer, stop being a customer. It's just that simple. It's just dialogue, whatnot, seems driven by employees, but a lot of players think it's dumb. Seems like Blizzard knows best, strikes again. Well, of course it does. These are the same people that have worked on the game for the past 5 years, that have just brought in shittier versions of Legion every single year. And Legion was just a shittier version of Mists of Pandaria in a lot of ways. It's pathetic. It's absolutely fucking pathetic. Like, so what do you expect? These are the same people that stuck with the idea that covenants were so important and so necessary for the game. And now you're surprised that these people are too obtuse to realize that they're full of shit? No, this is what they do. I think what I dislike about it the most, and this is what I think is the most off-putting about the whole Blizzard thing, is not only the employees, but also some of the content creators that that belittle and try to like place themselves above the rest of the community and like try to talk down to the community, and they think that they're like better than the people that they're that's watching the content. And it's just so off-putting to me. How hard is it to give the players what they want? Well, it's apparently very hard. So, like, for example, like, I go out of my way whenever I criticize, I criticize, like, a part of, like, my audience, for example, or the Warcraft community, right? Like, I always try to pair it with, like, something good, and I don't really ever think that I'm better than my audience in a way. Like, I think that I know a lot more than you guys about streaming. I think I do, 100%. But with issues like this, I mean, I think it's a matter of taste in a lot of ways. And a lot of other content creators are, and what I'm gonna, like somebody who's like moderately popular in the World of Warcraft community, if you think that gives you an ego to talk down to anyone, it doesn't. It really doesn't. You're a nobody. And that's it. Like, nobody should have an ego for being moderately popular inside of the World of Warcraft community, you know? And I've seen this a lot, and it's the same with developers too. It's a lot of these developers think that they're necessary to the game, when the truth is, like, 90% of them probably, at least I'd say probably half, you could replace that person the next day and bring somebody else in, and nobody could tell a bit of fucking difference. What should people employ ego for? People should employ ego for arguments and the sake of the argumentation, right? So, like, I have a strong ego about thinking that I'm right about something because I've logically come to that conclusion, right? Like, I think I'm right because, like, nobody else has explained to me in a adequate way that I think why I'm wrong. Does that make sense? Look at how we talk about 10.0 being very different in a good way. Gave me a glimpse of hope. I mean, I hope so too. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really gonna expect a whole lot. But, I mean, if something's better, then it's better. Preacher McCranach. Well, the problem with Ian, I think it's very simple, the problem with Ian. I think Ian is a person who has been promoted to a level of incompetence. I think that Ian did an incredible job in every single role that he was put in before being the game director. And this is something that you see a lot of in companies. I think there's even like a term for this. But it's very common that people in management and leadership positions they arrive there and they're incompetent because they arrive there through being competent in their previous position. The Peter Principle, I think that's what it's called, yeah. And I think this is the example. I think this is what happened with Ian. Is that Ian is like a beyond competent raid encounter designer. I think that his raid encounters that he's made, my understanding is that he was the lead for Throne of Thunder. Like, these are the best raids of all time. And so to say that like Ian has like no skills or no talent or no understanding of the game is just completely fucking untrue. The guy's a Zackrawrr board. He's been playing the game at a high level for years, right? And it doesn't really matter what his logs are or anything like that. The guy's had like a very high level of success for many years in the game. And I don't really think logs particularly matter that much. So like, he understands gameplay. Yeah, Ian really understands gameplay. And I think that like whenever you talk about raid content, I think that a lot of the high-end raiders, at least many of them, are generally happy with, I don't know actually, I think Sanctum was like, there was a bit of a problem with Sanctum because like people didn't know what was going to happen with like Mythic Sylvanas, and like Blizzard didn't tell people. It was kind of weird. But either way, isn't Ian a licensed lawyer by trade? Yeah. Yeah, he is. So like Ian, I think, got promoted to a position of incompetence. And the way that I think that happened, and incompetence I think is like a very strong word. I think Ian just doesn't have the empathy to understand why players are frustrated at certain systems that exist in the game. So like things like artifact power, things like these other things. I think Ian doesn't really understand some of the psychological effects that these systems have on players. And because of that, it makes it hard for him to design things that are good proactively. And it's why the same mistakes keep happening. The job he has requires a broader skill set. Yeah. And I think that like Ian like could probably do half of. It's really hard to have like one person do that job at all, really. I mean, have like just one person responsible for everything, and I don't think it is all Ian's fault. It's probably a bunch of people. It's just that it's Ian's responsibility, and it's you know, it falls on him because he's the person in charge. He doesn't listen to employees or bring up those concerns. Yeah, that could be true too. It's impossible really to know if that's the case. Customers don't like being liable for a company's mistakes. Whenever the dress is made by child hands in China. Isn't it the same with WoW and why free markets and the idea to vote with your money doesn't work? What do you think? I think that you're thinking about like two different things, right? So like companies doing things that are illegal, I think they should be held accountable, but it's not. You can never expect the customer to do that, but the customer should do that. That's why you have like governing bodies, right? Like California, for example, with Blizzard. You need to have accountability. Because you're right, companies will never really suffer a lot of consequences. Like, and the reason why I think Blizzard will suffer more of a consequence than, let's say, Nike will. Like, for example, like let's compare two different things. Let's look at Apple. I think Apple's a good example. And Apple actually even is not a good example. I'll explain why. Is that let's look at Nike and people finding out that like Nike clothes and Nike sneakers are made by third world labor. Now this is obviously something that is relatively well known, but a lot of people don't want to, don't really care, right? This does not really affect Nike. Everybody knows this and people keep buying Nike. Why is that? It's very simple. It's because this does not affect the product. It's literally that simple. You can have some 8-year-old girl in China make your sneakers and she's living on a dime a day, and her mom lives in a facility that they lock the doors at night so they can't leave. And this is fine to you because your sneakers are still the same quality that they were. You don't care. It doesn't matter to you. It's not personal. It doesn't really make a difference to you. And most people don't care about stuff that affects them. Exactly. And the difference between this and what happened with Blizzard, for example, is the fact that with Blizzard, the outcome of the company's decisions and the company's mistakes affects the player base. It affects the player base in a direct way. That's the difference. Yeah, it's like, so yeah, this is a really good example, right? Is that if the shoes were constantly missing laces or sometimes damaged due to being made by third world countries, people would care, but they only care because they got damaged products, not the workers. Exactly. And also, even if that was the case, people would not be willing to pay, let's say, $30 extra for a pair of shoes whenever you know, they moved all the manufacturing to, let's say, like Spain or to Britain, and they had first world laborers do it because they'd have to pay them more money. Now, Apple's a little bit different because Apple does have, I think, kind of a positive social connotation. So using third world labor does directly contradict their brand in a way. And I think this is the same thing that I said before with people being canceled, is that people can't be canceled unless they cancel themselves. And the only exception to this is, number one, if somebody gets banned. Right? If you get banned, you're canceled. That's it. It's over. You're done. Goodbye. You know, it's nothing you can do. Yeah, you're actually canceled. And the other way you can get canceled is if you do something that is counter to the idea that your audience has of you. So, for example, Keemstar, the most famous thing about Keemstar is that he called a black person the N-word. Right? It's one of the most famous things about him. It's one of the most well-known things about him. And nobody in his fan base cares. And do you know why? Is because Keemstar is not out there making tweets constantly about racial justice. That's why. Everybody knows Keemstar is an asshole. So whenever Keemstar is an asshole, no one is surprised. Same with Dream cheating. I don't know about that. I don't really know enough about that, honestly. He's still around? Yeah, Keem's still around. He's still making content. He'll probably be making content until they ban him. His audience might be racist also. I think most of his audience doesn't really care, and they just want drama. Like, they don't really... They're probably not old enough to be racist. Right? Other than, like, maybe not liking some kid of another race because he was mean to him in school. Right? Not liking other people from that race by extension. That's about it. You know, he has, like, very mainstream content. Younger audience for sure. Call of Duty, etc. So, a racist tells you in person? No, they don't. Why would somebody who's racist have to do it in person? That's not part of it at all. So here's what I'm saying, right? Is that it's a bit different with actors and viral videos of people being horrible. Let me think about some other examples of people getting canceled and people not liking them because of it. You want to know a good example of this, actually, and this is like a bad thing, is there's streamers on Twitch here, right? I'll give an example of Greek. Greek got canceled by a lot of his audience, not because he did something bad, but because he stopped doing things that were bad. Greek said, you know what? The old style of my IRL was not something I'm proud of, and I don't want to live like that anymore. I don't want to, live my old lifestyle. I'm going to lose weight, try to improve myself, etc. And his viewers resented him for that. Why is that? Why did people stop watching? Why did people stop liking that? I think really the big reason is because people had an idea of him in their head, and then he started doing something different. It's that simple. And as somebody who's watched Greek for years, I would argue that I don't think his personality had really changed that much from before and after he lost weight. Like, yes, he would have a little bit of an ego because he thought he looked good. But this is not something enough to where it's like damaging the stream. This is just like him just being an asshole. And he was just, he was an asshole 4 years ago. He was just a different kind of asshole. Most people just got tired. Well, it's the people that got tired was Greek, right? Greek said, I don't want to do this content anymore, and I'm not going to. And he stopped. And I think that attracted a lot of negative attention from people who were unhappy about that. His content went downhill too, though. I think you can make an argument about that, sure, right? I don't really think so. I think really the content going downhill is predicated on the uphill of the top of the hill in the first place was content that he wasn't proud of. You see kind of what I'm saying? So like the goal was to make the content go, as you say, downhill, but that's not his perception of it. He's funny before, and I was like, man, yeah, but a lot of the funniness came at the expense of other people or the expense of himself. You understand? Like that was where a lot of those jokes were coming from. And he acknowledged that and realized that, and he wanted to change and do something different. And that's what I'm saying about being canceled. What, do you have a shield on? It's just residual. I've got heavy armor anyway, it doesn't matter. Stop idiot gossip about others. Take a look at yourself, play a goddamn game. I don't know. I think we're having a really... I'm having a very interesting conversation. I find this very interesting to talk about. If it's upsetting for you, then I think that's a personal problem. Like, I find this very interesting. I like Greek a lot. I've always liked Greek, and I've defended Greek even whenever everybody's hated him. I've defended him multiple times because I think that he's not getting a fair shake. I think I was one of the last people that actually hung out with him in Austin before he left. And yeah, I like Greek a lot. And this is not necessarily no, there's no hate about this at all. This is just, it's understanding how people think. And I find that really interesting. I love that. Wouldn't the solution be slowly push away? Like we leave Austin? There's a lot of reasons. You can ask him. It's not my job to tell people about that. That was great. And anyway, cancel culture isn't real. I think that it can be. I mean, are you really gonna say that like somebody who like loses their job for a tweet they made like 10 years ago, which has happened, right? I think this is clearly cancel culture. Whenever people say cancel culture, that's what they're talking about. Yeah, this has happened, and you don't lose anything for admitting that. Having a Raiders head coach. I think that's a little bit different, but all I'm saying is that I think that cancel culture is simultaneously overplayed and underplayed. It's overplayed by people who are worried about getting canceled, and it's underplayed by people who are trying to cancel other people. That's what I think. Can we get a base take on the non-canceling of Amarath? This is something I said before, and I think that there are a lot of people who are maybe happy about Amarath. Remember, like, Amarath got banned on, like, TikTok, Instagram, and also Twitch all on the same day. I find that incredibly worrying. Consequences for your action equals cancel culture? Well, you could say that to anything, right? So, like, for example, like, so let me take that logic, and I'll see what you think about this, right? So you could say that somebody has freedom of speech, but not freedom of consequence whenever the government just comes and arrests them, right? Because the arrest is a consequence. It's not about if it's a consequence or not. Or whatever. It matters about the type of consequence it is. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw away half of these. It's just like there's so much of these, I just don't know what to. Oh, I throw these away too. Someone said direct threat here. A racial slur got banned. Is that cancel culture? Just repression of being a dick? I feel like being banned in a chat room is not cancel culture in any degree of imagination. I think everybody knows that. No, I think most people, like, the whole idea of cancel culture is not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's the misuse of removing people's public platform for things that people think is not worthy of that. Because I think most people agree with cancel culture in many circumstances. It just depends on how you define cancel culture. So, like, for example, I think like, this is a pretty easy way, like, for me, is that, like, the way that I define it is whenever somebody does something that's not against the law, but they still are being punished for it. So, like, for example, like, somebody getting canceled for inappropriately touching girls or something like that, this is not cancel culture to me. This is just against the law. Cancel culture is whenever somebody has, like, an opinion or something like that that's not really against the law. It doesn't really hurt anybody, you know, directly, or it does not break the law. I think breaking the law is the fundamental thing here. Alex Jones. Yeah, I remember he, like, lost that lawsuit against his Sandy Hook victims. I didn't really pay much attention to that whenever it happened. I have no idea. 3 so far. Yeah, I heard that he lost another one recently, but I'm not really ever sure what to believe with that, because the media doesn't like Alex Jones, so I don't, like, I assume it's probably true, because Alex Jones is, I mean, he's a dickhead, right? And he said a bunch of, like, really stupid stuff. So it's probably true. But, like, I don't really just take it at face value immediately. He's satire? The thing is, but he's not, though. Like, with satire and with anything like that, with Monty Python, for example, after John Cleese or, you know, whoever is on Monty Python, was John Cleese on Monty Python? I don't fucking... It's been so long, I don't even fucking remember. well, whoever, right, was on Monty Python. The thoughts, after he gets off Monty Python, he stops acting like he did whenever he was on Monty Python. Whenever you're always in character, it's really hard to tell if it's a character. There it is. There it fucking is, boys. Fuck yes. Oh, grass. Yeah, I wanted to get that tonight. Alright, let's go mine the first one, man. Would you say the same idea applies to Sam Hyde? Same idea applies to Sam Hyde. I think that whenever Sam Hyde is trying to say something serious, he says it differently than whenever he's joking. Because Sam Hyde is also a comedian. What do you think about people being called out for stuff now that was acceptable 10 years ago? Oh, I think it's stupid. Yeah, I don't support that at all. I think a lot of people did things that were socially acceptable a long time ago, and now they're not for whatever reason. And I think that if you want to go back and retroactively punish people for something, it's not even something that the law does in many cases. I think there's a good reason for that too. Wait, where the fuck are where are the mines that I can go now? I thought there was one like right nearby here. Is it not here? Fuck, I'm gonna have to go to another one. Somebody got it. God damn it. Alright, let me go back to town. Actually, I know that town is full. Let me just go to the other one. Huge difference in James Gunn making jokes on Twitter, Raiders coach being overtly racist and homophobic in secret. James Gunn making jokes on Twitter. Wasn't he making jokes about like wasn't that guy making like pedo jokes? I don't remember that. It was so long ago. I could be wrong. Yeah, like I think so. Yeah, I remember reading like a lot of his jokes. Like there's a thing where like in order for something to be a joke, there has to be a punchline. And I don't feel like there was a punchline for any of those jokes that he made. Like, that was really weird what he was saying. And, like, that would make me uncomfortable just to be around the person that would talk like that. It's dark humor? Well, I don't really think... I think even... like, I know what dark humor is. I love dark humor. But I can't do that anymore on Twitch. But, I don't think it really... It didn't come off that way at all. Was he laughing at the fact the monkey jerked off my kid? I don't remember, honestly. And it's just like, I think it's also the frequency of something. So like, for example, if somebody makes a racist joke, and he makes a joke and it's like a stereotypical racist joke, like, I don't really think anything of it. I don't care. It's fine, right? It's a guy made a racist joke. But it's like if the same guy makes a racist joke about the same group of people every single time, then maybe there's something going on there. You see what I'm saying? Or should you cancel someone for having bad humor? Because I think that sometimes people use humor to mask how they really feel. They use it almost as like a litmus test or like a mining canary. Like, can I get away with saying this? And if they say, if people are like, it's like, you know, oh, I'm just kidding unless. Reaching hard with that one? Really? Have you guys not had the same experience? I don't know. I've had a lot of experiences like that where people will make jokes, but they really think that they'll joke about something as kind of a foray. It's like kind of a test to see if you're going to go with it or not. Yeah, I think this happens all the time. This year, joke at Chick Camp, I'm going to shoot you guys later. I found it hilarious, but it was risky as fuck. Well, the difference is that Sear isn't making comments like that every day. You see it, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's the frequency of it. Racist jokes are 100% all racist, probe others for people to share their views. Maybe there are, but I don't know. Like, I grew up in like a low, low working class neighborhood, and everybody made jokes about everybody. Nobody ever thought anything of it. And like, it's like, it's weird for me to think that that like was even real whenever you put it in context of like today's standards, because nowadays people would just go ape shit about that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly. When you have 500 Jew jokes that all hinge around Jews being lesser or bad, it's warning. Exactly, right? So it's like, it's a matter of like how often you're doing it. And like, this is your subject material every single time? It just seems really weird. Like, I think a very simple like reality check for something like that is, would you want your kids around that guy? Like, let's say you've got a 6-year-old kid. Would you want that guy to supervise your kid over the weekend, knowing that he made tweets like that? And I would say absolutely no. Absolutely not. Not a fucking chance. And so I think that tells you all you really need to know. Not a chance in hell, no. Absolutely not. Brooks is all Jewish jokes to Jewish. Well, I think that's like, that's the, didn't George Carlin say that, right, back in the day? That, you know, it's like Richard Pryor can make a joke about black people because he's black, right? It's kind of obvious. And it's always been like an unspoken rule that you can make jokes about groups that you belong to. Yoko the Clown didn't get canceled back in the day. Oh, damn. I don't know who the fuck that is, to be honest. So I have no idea. Why black people can say the N-word. I think it's an extension of that, sure. But yeah, it's just like, it's a general society. It's generally accepted in society that people can make jokes about groups and like they can be more critical about groups that they belong to. Do jokes about group people if you aren't representative of it. You're clever enough, rule one is your joke's funny. Yeah, I think that's a big factor too. Potential solutions to, let's say, false accusations that have put people in jail. I think the false accusations thing is not really as big of an issue as people make it out to be. It's kind of like shark attacks or something like that, where everybody's gone swimming out in the ocean, so you know, they tune in every single day for Shark Attack Week because they're worried about what could happen. But the truth is that they're just so rare and so uncommon that I wouldn't really expect it to happen. I think it's the same thing with a lot of the sexual accusations, is that a lot of people who they what do you call it, like, you know, everybody, like a lot of people have, like, you know, they've been in a relationship with a girl and it ended badly, and so like they have it in their head like, oh man, what if she says something like this and it could fuck with my life, etc., right? But like the truth is that like this is extremely uncommon. Where's your statistic? Well, I think actually there is a statistic, isn't it? Like 96 or 97% of only like 3% or something like that of the accusations are proven false. 5% of rape allegations are found to be false. Very rare. Yeah. And like also, like if you take in like 5% of rape allegations that are found to be false, there are plenty of other ones that are not, they're just not pursued. That doesn't mean shit. Well, see, you asked me for a source. I give you a number. And this is a number that's generally accepted, that people agree is like, yeah, this is what it is. And then you say it doesn't mean anything. Well, do you want a source or not? I wouldn't take 1 in 20. So then what's the solution? Yeah, so then like does nobody go to jail for rape? Because like, I mean, how does this, yeah, how does this work? And also, I would say that with proving something to be false is different than something being dismissed. And there are a lot of cases of rape and things like this, just sexual allegations that are dismissed, that are not, as far as I know, classified in that 5% mark. So like, for example, you know, a really good example of this, you can't prove a negative. Yeah, it's very, it's very hard to prove a negative. You're definitely right. But here's one. Method Josh. Method Josh's case got dismissed. Yeah. So there's a lot of times like where it's like a type 1, type 2 error, right? Or type A, or I forgot what it was. Just a long time ago. But like there are times where legitimate things get dismissed and times where illegitimate things get taken seriously. And this is just going to happen. Like this happens with everything because there's human error. Type 1 or type 2, yeah. Sweden's laws are crazy. Well, I have no idea. Like I don't live in Sweden. It's whatever to me. Burden of proof is high, and yeah, fucking goats, man. And without good receipts, things are likely to get dismissed. Yeah, 100%. Does one person crying wolf fuck it up for everyone though? Well, I think that like you could apply that logic to any crime. So like there are people in jail for things that they didn't do. And right now, there's like probably, I would say, thousands of people that are in jail for things that they should not be in jail for. And I don't just mean things that I disagree with, like, you know, they are wrongly accused. So if you want to use this line of logic that, well, because some people can be falsely accused and this can happen, that we should just throw out the entire idea altogether, or the entire pursuit of it should be thrown out altogether. I think that you can apply that to any law. You see what I'm saying? Better for 10 guilty men to go free than for one innocent man to be punished. Well, I think that sounds really good until one of those guilty men comes in and ruins your life. The truth is that I don't live my life according to ideals. I live my life according to what makes sense and what works. I don't really care about like an ideal or a quote that some man 150 years ago thought of, who's dead now. Like he didn't. This quote was made whenever there was not even any computers. Like I don't give a fuck what some random person thought. Like this is nice, and I think that quotes like that are good ways to structure a way of thinking, but they shouldn't. The quote itself should not be used as an argument. It's a platitude. Yeah, it should be a way to facilitate your own opinion. Yeah, exactly. A way to orient yourself rather than validate yourself. What kind of running simulator? Oh, it's just fucking ridiculous, bro. We're finally here. We're gonna mine some red ore. Let's go. There's one right there. Let me just mine this one right now. I don't think I've really got much going on. Just a minute. I got stuck. Holy shit. There it is, boys. There it fucking is, dude. We actually got it. Oh my god. I'm happy. That's my first one that I ever mined. Okay, well, let's go. Yeah, I'll see you later. Oh, stop. Oh, stop it. Holy fuck, dude. Let me go mine a few more of them, then I'm gonna go to bed. And by go to bed, I mean watch another episode of Demon Slayer and then go to bed. It's a mess, understandably, since people are constantly lying. No, the thing is, like, I think people are, especially with something like this, right? People are afraid of uncertainty. But the truth is, like, you're never going to have 100% accuracy. It's just never going to happen. You been enjoying Demon Slayer? I mean, you'd hope so if I'm keeping watching it. But yeah, I think a lot of that kind of stuff, like obviously false accusations are really bad. But I do think that a lot of people, this is something that I see happen a lot online, where people try to present two sides of an issue as if there's parity between the two things. And I don't really think that's the case. I think that, I think a good example of this was like the, remember back whenever Trump did that thing where like a bunch of people went to the Capitol and it was like a big fucking deal? People saw like the January 6th thing. There was a insurrection. I don't really know if it's an insurrection, but regardless, like what I'm saying is like the media portrayed that there were a lot of people who were in support of this behavior. Like there was the equivalent amount of people that were supporting it, that were not supporting it. Whereas if you looked online, whenever it happened that day, almost everybody was saying it was wrong. Almost everybody was saying like, yeah, okay, I was okay with the protests, but going into the building was like obviously fucking bad. There was like nobody defending this at all. But the media will take a few tweets that have 20 likes and 3 retweets and run with it as if this is the opposition to literally millions of people across all the political spectrums disagreeing with it. Majority of Trump supporters, right-wingers, were defending it and still are. I think that there's a lot of people like that who don't think that it was an insurrection. But I don't think that if you really asked a lot of those people, do you think that it was a good idea that people went into the Capitol building and damaged property? I think that most people would say no. I think that probably 90% of people would say no. And this is what I'm saying, is that this type of propaganda affects people online too, because they buy into the idea that there's a parity and this is like a 50-50 thing. It's not. Almost everybody is against that. Let's see, where's my good gear? Yeah, I'm just going to get rid of all this. People who are in support of it won't post on social media, though. They have their own pockets of the internet where they'd be sharing their opinions. Yeah, but like that's not really that many people. Like I just, there's like what, a few thousand people on some other website for people that get banned on Twitter that are talking about how it was good. Like I mean, this is not something I'm taking very seriously. I think this will be enough space. Domestic terrorism must be real. There are black, brown people out there who have gotten their asses beat. Or worse, don't be down. Well, it's hard to say, right? Because like there's been plenty of times where it's not like every single person that's black that goes and does something bad gets shot. But overall, yeah, sure. I mean, of course that could happen. And I think this is like the extremism. Yeah, it's like massive extremism. We've never participated in the building. Well, I think this is like an example, right? Is like people use the excuse. I remember whenever it happened. Well, the police let them in, right, or something like that, or like the doors were unlocked. And in my opinion, I think that's just it's ridiculous. The entire idea of that is just completely ridiculous because they're still the ones that are doing it wrong. And I remember like whenever it happened, I was pretty against it too, because like I was against all the riots that happened too, and just in general anything like that. Whenever people are trying to subvert the rule of law, which I think is very important, just because they're not happy about something I think is bad. And like it's just, you can't have that in my opinion. So many cops actually raiding the Capitol? Yeah, they should go to jail, right? I think most people agree with that. Slavery was rule of law at some point. You're right. And there were a lot of bad things that were laws. And the way they get changed is through legislation. There's been a lot of activism too, but I think you have to have the legislation. And the truth is, like, we're lucky enough to live in a democracy where you actually do have control over over the people that rule you and everything. I think that's something that a lot of people in America take for granted. Oh, fuck. I've got my luck gear on too. It's gonna take forever to kill this thing. Actually, this is fine. Fuck out of here. Preach really enjoyed your video. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad he did. This joke, Asman? There's not a joke. If you don't like somebody, vote for the other person. They're gone. Like, it's just people have convinced themselves that's not the case to rationalize inaction. Individual vote never change the outcome of elections. My individual ass isn't gonna go. Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't vote because of that. I mean, people can do whatever they want. I don't really care. Sometimes I vote, sometimes I don't. I think the only time I really refrain from voting is whenever I feel like I have to pick between two bad candidates. At this point, like, if I have to pick between a turd and a douche sandwich, or whatever it is, a turd sandwich and a giant douche, I'm just not gonna pick. People think voting every 4 years is important, but don't vote in local elections. Yeah, I think it's important to do that too. Centrist third party would never be allowed to exist. Well, the reason why it's not allowed to exist is because people don't allow it to exist. I think that people don't really realize how powerful that you can be if you get together with a bunch of people. And you can do anything you want. If enough people wanted it, it would happen. Well, she'll live in a fantasy world. What percentage of the population of Nazi Germany was actually Nazis and part of the Nazi party? Not a lot, but they took over the whole country. There's a lot of instances in history of a small fraction of the population being able to really enact huge change for good and bad things. They had 90% support. Well, of course they did, because if you didn't support them, you'd be dead. That's like saying that everybody, you know, that everybody in North Korea likes Kim Jong-un. The show pretty much killed no Germans. The Holocaust was only discovered after World War II. My understanding was, like, I could be wrong about this, but, like, wasn't Hitler's rise to power kind of predicated on him getting rid of, in a lot of ways, the Communist Party? I think that was a big factor. It wasn't the only factor, but it was a big factor. Yeah, it was. That's what I thought. Yeah, I don't... He forced himself into leadership, yeah. And yeah, he consolidated government branches with himself. So it's weird that a lot of people that... And, like, I'm not a fucking World War II historian. But there's a lot of people that, like, really just don't have a very good understanding of this stuff at all. That have very strong opinions about it. Shows in chat, yeah, people talking with their ass all the time. Yeah. If Hitler hadn't done bad stuff, people would have liked him. Yeah, you can say that about every bad person. If the bad guy didn't do the bad stuff and he only did the good stuff, people would think that he didn't do any bad stuff and he was good. Yeah. I think that's the case with a lot of things. He was Times Man of the Year. That's so disingenuous. Didn't they make him Man of the Year after he invaded Poland because of his impact on the world rather than Times Magazine actually approving his behavior? Yeah. And people are just so uninformed, man. It's crazy. And even the thing is, to me, like, I feel like I'm uninformed. Like, I would not really... Like, I'm just talking about it a little bit, right? Like, I don't really know. But, god damn. Okay. Maybe I can go try to mine some down there. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I should have gone back over to here. Maybe they have some over there. I really need to go to bed. Hitler was Man of the Year in 1938, invaded Poland in 1939. Okay. I guess I could have been wrong, but am I right still about the context of it? That they weren't really giving him Man of the Year because of what do you call it? Because of necessarily their approval. It was more that he was just so impactful. That was my understanding of it. Not an endorsement, an acknowledgement. Yeah, exactly. See, can I get this one? It's kind of a long chest to loot. God fucking damn it. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Can I get up on top of this? No, I can't. Can I get on this one? Yep. The fuck out of here. I don't have time for you. Okay. That out of the way. I don't want to waste any time, you know. I'm a busy guy. We still do D&D. We'll see what happens. This game's great. It's better than RuneScape, but it's buggy. I think it would be a better game if it wasn't buggy. We can agree on that. And back to influential. I've also recovered Germany's economy. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, like, there were reasons why people liked Hitler, right? Yeah, it's because he did, like, the Autobahn, and there was, like, the Volkswagen and shit like that. Yeah, sure. But it's just that whenever you look at anything like that, it's just, you can't have, well, actually, like, whenever you go back, I think that whenever they did, like, the World War I, like, the peace treaty and everything, didn't, like, who was it, like, Otto von Bismarck, I forgot who, didn't he say, or someone say that that it was just a 20-year armistice. General Fonge? Yeah, I don't remember who it was. Nice, there's one over there. Who didn't do it was Natsu. The thing, I don't really, like, what I'm saying is, like, how the public perceived him. Right? Like, whether he was doing it and it was right or not is, like, not, doesn't really matter to me, right? Whether it was his responsibility that this happened or not. I don't really care. It's just that this is the public perception. There it fucking is, dude. There it fucking is. Autumn. 700 mining out of that too. Holy shit. How long have I played New World? Too long. I'm assuming this ore has like 0 value, right? Like nobody wants it. I'm never gonna be able to sell it. Like I haven't looked on the auction house, but it's 2 gold per ore. That's really good. If it's 2 gold per ore, I'm very happy. Is it 5 a.m. in Austin? Shut up. When's Twitch gonna up the bit, right? I have no idea. Orchrome is much more rare than star metal. It doesn't matter if it's more rare. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. There we go. Seeing if there's any more nodes in this area. Should you recommend New World? Is it still too new? I think for $40 you'll get your money's worth out of it. This guy sucks. I'm gonna go help him. Fucking idiot. What if you only care about combat? Then I think if you just do PvP, maybe you'll still enjoy it. It's hard for me to say. I'm looking around to see if there's any more of the spawns. I'm not seeing a whole lot of them. Where are other places that they could be? I know there's some here, but that's like a high level zone. Maybe here in these mines. It's very hard to say. More damnation is 3 or 4. Yeah, I don't really want to go all the way over there. Might as well loot all these. I need to get my harvesting up too. Do you guys feel like some of the crafting professions are too grindy? Because like I was looking at the amount of resources that you needed for like weaponsmithing and stuff. I feel like that's too much. But like maybe it won't be over time whenever more people are farming, but like I don't know, like it just seemed insane whenever I looked at it. $5.4 million greenwood for 200 furnishing. Yeah, I mean that's insane. That's insane. Hatchet and spears being separated weaponsmithing and engineering. Yeah, like I thought, like I remember whenever that happened, I was like, oh well, it's because of oh, there we go. Yeah, I'll try it. It's because they're made of wood, but like I mean, the handle is wood for the I think the axe too. Push gathering with sword level because not my gatherings at 200 in mining. All my crafting professions are less than 100. I think the problem is that, and this is the issue with a lot of crafting systems in games, is that you are not incentivized to make cool gear. You are incentivized to make boring, shitty gear over and over and over. And I think that's bad design. That's your recipes, go with experience. Yeah, it's just, it's bad design. So, like, I think that they need to do a better job with crafting in general, because I didn't realize how grindy it was. But it's like, it's one of those things where, like, every day that it's in the game is inexcusable. Every day it's bad. Like 200 unique items to level, or just something that's more interesting than and I think that the gathering professions, in my opinion, I think that they could have added like oak trees or something like that and made oak trees you know, part of like the gathering, because I feel like there are like dry spots in gathering where you don't really make any progress. And I think it's usually like the 100 to 175 mark where like you're not doing anything. You're just kind of doing the exact same thing over and over and over, and it just takes longer and longer and longer. At least there's trees everywhere. There's not blue trees everywhere. You've got to farm Terra Wolves if you want to do it really quick. That's what I did. Crafting primary trees like Star Wars Galaxies? It's hard to say. I never played that game. Did you do Terra Wolves in Brightwood? Yeah, I found a spot where 3 of them spawned next to each other, and I literally just killed those 3 wolves over and over and over for like 8 hours or something. It was very exciting. Need more types of resources, so leveling up feels more rewarding. Well, yeah. So, like, okay, yeah, this is what I was going to do. If you look at, like, your trade skills, right? Your logging, you go from, like, mature trees at 50. I would add in, like, I think that a better, like, why didn't they add in, like, birch trees? Like, they have, or beech trees, that's what they are, in Valheim, for example. So, like, you start off slow, and then you're able to build up to, like, cutting down a big tree. Like, in my opinion, I would change the gathering in this game a pretty good amount. But I think it's good. Like, I like the gathering in the game. I just wish that it was more robust. Oh fuck, I have my luck gear on, I forgot. I don't know if I can kill all of these. I guess we'll find out. Easy. Alright, let's see if we get anything good. Tender wolf loin, that's pretty good. Ironhide. 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 And ironhide. What a shame. That's really good. I'm just gonna vendor it. I don't want to think about it. About like how good it could be. God damn. Fine. I guess I'll have to kill them all. Let's go. Come here. Holy fuck. Anything good? Ironhide. One red meat. Oh boy. Jagged animal fang. Ooh. Infused fur. Is that worth anything? Probably not. Let me put on all my real gear. Okay, I think I'm pretty much good. Yeah, we're good. I'm using a new axe, that's why I'm lower item level. You look sick as fuck. Yeah, thanks, dude. I've actually got... Oh, I guess I must have entered it. I'm trying to get a new helmet. That's this one. Is running annoying? Will there be mounts? Yeah, running's really annoying. It takes a long time to do anything in this game. I think that really one improvement they should do is there are quest chains in the game, and the quest chains should automatically complete, and you shouldn't have to go back to town. Yeah, that's what I think is just like really, really, really garbage. Is like having to go all the way back to town after you've been trying to do something, right? Like you run all the way there, you complete the quest, it takes you 30 seconds, right? It's like, okay, go loot the blue thing. It's like, all right, you loot the blue thing. And then you come back and it's like, all right, good job, you looted the blue thing. And it's like, all right, great. Well, now there's another blue thing. Go back, loot that one too. And it's the town right, or it's the little area right next to it. It's just like, it's exhausting. So there's none over here. Okay, that's good to know. Not only that, but you turn time and time again to the same places. Yeah, exactly. It's like the questing is not really very optimized. And I think that it makes the player feel like they're wasting their time. Okay, there's like 2 right there. Fuck yeah. Alright. Let's go ahead and just go with these. Aggro this guy too, might as well. Alright, boys, come on. Let's do it. Big dick. Look at that fucking damage. Oh. Where the fuck did he come from? So how many, in order to make one Orca Cum vein, or one Orca Cum bar, how many, how many iron do you need? How many iron bars do you need to make one Orca Cum bar? Two star metal ingots. So This is steel. So you need 2 star metal, right? And then how many steel do you need to make 1 star metal? Two steel. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm really doing this right. Okay. I'm not sure how to visualize this. Okay. So, in order to make steel, you need how many iron bars? Four. Okay, so 4. 3. Okay, 3. Is it 3 or 4? I don't know. Let's just assume it's 3. Because even if it's 4, let's say you get lucky. And then you need 2 steel bars in order to make 2 steel bars in order to make 1 star metal, right? How many steel bars do you need for 1 star metal ingot? 2. Okay, so then it's 6. And then how many star metal ingots do you need for 1 oilochrome ingot? 2. So it's 12. So basically, what this means is that for every single time that you went backwards. No, this is how many iron bars it requires. Right? That is a ridiculous amount. I'm not sure if I would say it is outrageous, but it is certainly ridiculous. And of course there's also flux as well too, right? So you have to use that. No, I'll use hatchet. Yeah, I use my mining pick now. Yep, hatchet outdated. Sword overrated. Are you seeing a video explaining how the lack of new players will create a death loop for resources? Well, I don't need to see the video, it's obvious. Anybody with a brain can see that. This is exactly what I said was a problem in the game. Like a few days ago when people were telling me that I was wrong. There's no way, right? Like you're not gonna do it? Yeah, I didn't think so. What's a death loop? That basically, it'll create a situation where the high level metals have no value because everybody will be high level and able to farm those, and the low level metals will have all the value. That's healthy for the game though. You think it's healthy for the game that somebody farms for 20 hours to be able to obtain a resource that has less value than the resource that you can obtain whenever you start the game? Think that's good for the game? Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, there's one down there. Oh, there's a lot of these guys. You don't think so? You'd rather make low-level zones useless like WoW? I didn't know those were the only two options. They're either completely useless or they have higher value than the higher tier resources. Yeah, I wasn't sure that those were the only two options I had. Oh, I didn't mean to vendor that other one. Scarcity drives all economies. Yeah, it does. There's more people camping iron now, even with way less people. Yeah, that's probably true. Watch people grind this game hurts me. I couldn't imagine actually playing myself. Well, then why are you watching it? What are you doing? What are you doing? Will the market stabilize itself organically, though? No, because market stabilization and everything about that indicates that it is designed to be stable. Which it's not. Like it indicates that the market will reach an equilibrium of stability, but it's not designed in that way. Does that make sense? Is there one right there? No. Shit. Is there one in here? No, there's not. God damn. Yo, chill. But yeah, I think that it's bad design. That the higher tier materials do not have higher value. I do really think that. I think it's I think that it makes people probably feel bad about leveling the profession, because they level the profession and the only thing they're rewarded with is the reality that they wasted their time, and now they just have to go back and farm the same thing that they were doing before. And also because you can inject enough oilochrome into the economy at such a fast rate by being able to farm the spawns that you will always exceed demand. And by the nature of trying to approach that demand, people will also always exceed the supply of iron. So it will drive the price of iron up and the price of star metal down. Like, I've taken, I think, probably 3,000 star metal today and just thrown it away. That should not happen. Higher skill should allow you to gather more of a low-level resource. It would solve the problem somewhat. Yeah, I think that would be a good solution. Or not a good, it would be a solution. I don't know if it's a good solution or not. I'm not sure. Issue is nothing to invest into long term for the game. Yeah, they need to make like boats or something where you need to like invest a lot of stuff into it. I'm gonna look real quick at the New World subreddit, and then after that I'm gonna go to bed. Yeah, is this the one that people were talking to me about? This is the one I read this earlier. The copium post? Is this copium? Holy shit, y'all. Take a pill. The subreddit's posts are full of the saltiest, slimiest, gamer-gatiest, angry whittle gamer babies I've ever seen. You entitled motherfuckers just shout bullshit into the wind, providing no valuable feedback. This has got to be like an Amazon employee's alt account. Like, nobody can actually write something like that and take themselves seriously, can they? That's insane. Why won't Amazon fix these buggy wuggies faster? Are you serious? They fixed 30 major bugs every week so far. The game's been out for 2 weeks. Now that they patched out already is insane. Assholes are sitting here screeching, not fast enough, not the right bugs. Get these human beings time, you animals. I mean, this is insane. Devs are working on squashing launch bugs because the game's been out for only 2 weeks, but it hasn't been out for 2 weeks. It's been out for a year. Like, for example, the problem with... Let me make this a little bit bigger so people can read it. People on mobile. Like, for example, like the larger scaling of like an NPC, like whenever you take an NPC and you just make it bigger for like a boss, and like its collision box being too big, like this was a problem last year. This isn't something that's been out for 2 weeks. It's been out for probably 2 years. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Or they're just on hotfix. Is it normal for 30 game-breaking bugs to be in the game on release? Yeah. Yeah, it's like this is all predicated under the idea that 30 major bugs every week is normal. Like, it's just so ridiculous. What did you expect to happen? For it to be perfect in 2 weeks? Is this your first video game ever? My first video game ever had less problems than this. Why is this patch taking so long? Amazon hates us. Nobody says Amazon hates you. This has to be some dev on his burner. No shot. It has to be, bro. We're just giving them feedback. How else are we supposed to do that? By talking like a person. Type out your complaints, and if you reread your post and it ends up sounding more like you're verbally assaulting someone on the street than providing someone with ideas to make something better, you might have fucked up somewhere along the way. Ideas of their fans and the subreddit have followed. The idea that like people have to be fans in order to provide feedback, I think, is just othering, and it's just, I think it's silly. You turn this place into what it is. Devs are smart. If they valued themselves at all humans, they would never check the cesspool, at least until 1,000 people post here. Once people quit the game, hopefully less toxic people post here instead. I've never seen a post that's more toxic than this is, honestly. This is like just willfully, like intentionally misunderstanding and infantilizing people that disagree with them. Creating straw men that don't exist. And just being patronizing and rude the entire time. Like, this is the most toxic post on the entire subreddit. And he wants to talk about the devs shouldn't read about it. Like, I think that the devs know, like, I'm not going to put on little kid gloves and say like, oh, well, you know, it could be better. Nah, bro, you've had a year to fix this. This is so simple. Like, you can't hit the NPC. It's literally that simple. This is a game-breaking problem. The people paid $40. Post has to be bait. It's the top post on the entire subreddit. This is by far the worst post I've seen so far. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like the Azot staff, like the Azot staff, it's been 2 weeks, and the tier 5 Azot staff, the main core, it's like, imagine if in Legion, whenever Legion came out, you couldn't finish your artifact weapon questline. Or you couldn't get your artifact weapon. You couldn't use one of your abilities. And it was like that for 2 weeks. People would lose their fucking mind. Like, it's just so, it's so ridiculous. We're just giving them feedback. Anyone who defends this game is white knighting. Enjoying a game is white knighting. Let's see, is this a not safe for work one? Oh. It's an alt account. That makes sense. Yeah, it's a burner account. See, the reason why a person like this would make an alt account, it's like realistically it's probably not a developer. Like maybe it is, but it's probably not. It's because they probably made other posts, and like the last post they made is talking about how much fun they've had fishing and they're level 23. It's because this person has no credibility to talk about the game. Or to criticize the game at all. But you? Oh, absolutely, I have credibility to talk about the game. I've leveled to 63 times. I've leveled multiple professions to 200. I've taken part in every in-game activity, aside from corrupted invasions. I have been trying to figure out everything that I can about the game. I've logged over 300 hours into the game since release. I am absolutely credible to talk about it. Absolutely. In all fairness, you were carried most of the way. How can you get carried? Are you retarded? I just banned him. I'm so sick of reading stupid shit like that. Get carried in this game. His message history? Who cares? Anyway. Tried to provoke you? Yeah, if somebody tries to annoy me, I just permaban them, that's it. Anyway, let's read the rest of the post. We get it, dude. Bots are bad. You hate bots. Obvious statement is obvious. You know what else isn't helpful, though? Screeching like a banshee blindly on the internet over and over again. Well, let's get straight what you're asking, okay? All the bugs fixed, future and present immediately. Server patches go 100% smoothly. All bots to be removed. Mass reporting to be fixed. Implement server transfers cross-region. Sleeping complex quest lines in every city by every NPC. The list goes on. Yeah. People want all the bugs fixed. This is exactly right. If there's a bug in the game, people would want it fixed. That's right. 100%. And I think that we should expect that. Why would somebody expect... The thing is, like, we know... Here's the truth, right? Immediately? Well, I think that bugs that existed in the preview from last year should not be in the game anymore. But they are. These are bugs that have been in the game for an entire year. Like, what is the time frame whenever having a bug in the game is no longer acceptable? Yeah, this is insane. So anyway, let's look at the other stuff. Server patches go 100% smoothly. Everybody knows the patches are going to be fucked up. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Bots to all be removed. Like, what is the alternative here? What do you want? Do you want, like, maybe 30% of the bots to be removed? Maybe let's just get rid of half of them. Let's get rid of half of the bots, and then the other half, we'll just leave them in the game. That's a great idea. It's like everybody knows that they're never going to get rid of every single bot, but they can get rid of a lot of them for sure. Mass reporting to be fixed. Like, do you really think that it shouldn't have even gone live like this? Like, yes, absolutely, people should expect to not just be randomly taken out of the game because of a mass report system. Like, how dare they not want to randomly have their account disabled because of something they didn't do? Who even thought that was a good idea? Somebody who wanted to save money on CS representatives, obviously. Implement server transfers cross-region. Well, they said they were going to do this in 2 weeks, right? This was the time frame that Amazon gave, that we would have server transfers. And they never said that it wouldn't be cross-region. They never said this. So what you're asking for, what we're asking for, is for them to do what they said they were going to do? Yeah, I think so. Did they say it would be, though? Let me read and see what they said. Let me see if I can find out what it was. I have the exact link that they said it would be. Yeah, I can't get whispers in here or I'd take it. See if I can find it. You will be able to move your character to any servers that are available at the time we make transfers available. So, and then if you look at this, right, what did they really say? To ensure everyone can find an open world now while finding a home in a tournament for their community long term, we'll offer an opportunity in the next 2 weeks for players to relocate their characters to a new server of their choice of no cost. Yeah, it literally just says it right there. Oh, because some available servers aren't available, of course, right? Based off of vocabulary that they invented after they made the post. Like, there was never an idea of a full server. There was never an idea that you could or could not transfer to a full server. This was not part of the vocabulary or the New World Dictionary. This was created after this post was made. What's even the definition of a full server? Exactly. They were deliberately non-specific. Of course. I think that whenever you whenever you're non-specific in something like this, and then people take you at what you say, what the thing that you're saying implies, you're still wrong. Even if you can lawyer them out of it in the same way that Blizzard did with like the what do you call it? That situation with them taking all the money for the prizing in that one BlizzCon. Even if they are technically right, this was very clearly a manipulation. Yeah, the esports prizing. Yeah, this was very clearly they said you can move between NA and EU. Oh, I can't see the link. Sorry. I have it to where it's removed. It's on this tweet. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that pretty much settles it. Yeah. So what he's saying and what he's trying to patronize the community for is asking for something that was explicitly promised by the company account. Explicitly promised. Most toxic post in the sub. It's such a fucking tragedy that absolute dick-sucking garbage like this gets upvoted. Because you know what this does? This makes excuses for bad game content. And you know what happens whenever you make excuses for a bad game? You keep getting a bad game. and you're asking for all this all the time at the same time, the devs make progress on one or a few, and you yell at them for not making progress on all at the same time. The devs make progress on one, and you yell at them for making progress. They added AFK timer to phishing to fix phishing bots, and there's already a post on the front page of someone screeching at them for adding that. Well, obviously, you're so, like, how is this person so stupid? Of course they're mad about the AFK timer with the phishing bots, because obviously the AFK timer didn't fix the phishing bots, and it just ended up inconveniencing average players. So why would they not be frustrated about that? How can you be this stupid? Do you understand how batshit crazy and unreasonable this thought process is? Yeah, I sure do. Why would an AFK timer affect a bot? That's a great question. That is a great fucking question. It's like the bot can't be programmed to move because it's a bot. How can it be on the keyboard if it's a bot? I mean, what do you mean? How did the AFK timer not get rid of a bot? Because it's a robot, it's a keyboard. How's a bot gonna hit the keyboard? This is your brain on this subreddit, man. Oh my god. This isn't Amazon, the blind corporate monster. This is Amazon Game Studio, a game development office run by human beings in Los Angeles that has nothing to do with the 2-day shipping or Jeff Bezos. Well, I guess that's why they have the same name, and Jeff Bezos tweeted about it. It's because it has nothing to do with it. I'm sure that the scope of this game was funded purely through, what do you call it? It was funded purely through, you know, prayers and believing. They're people, and they're doing an incredible job pushing out shit as fast as they are for you entitled fucktwats. Get a fucking grip, or no one's gonna take you seriously. I mean, I mean that. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you want people to actually make changes, take your complaints seriously? You've got to grow up and act like an adult. You take anything away from this post, remember that. Now fuck off. The only person not acting like an adult is the person who wrote this post. I can just imagine them like sweating through their neck beard and just fucking so angry. They're like mad because they're you know, their wife's boyfriend isn't giving them any time to use the television, and so they've got to make this post instead. This is just he proofread this so hard. Yeah, he did. This is the saddest and most pathetic post I've ever seen in my entire life. And you know what's even more sad and pathetic about the fact that it was made? The fact that it was upvoted. The fact that this was, like, I don't care, like, I don't really care about the post itself. Like, the post itself is like, oh wow, some stupid asshole is being a stupid asshole. It doesn't really matter to me. What does matter and what does actually make me mad is the fact that this post is the top post on the subreddit. It's what it represents. It represents that this is the resounding opinion of at least the majority of people who participate on the New World subreddit. This is extremely disturbing to me, because whenever I read this, I see people that are okay with being blatantly lied to, with having bugs in the game, who fundamentally don't understand how bots work and why there are complaints about the bots. These are people who just have no idea how the game works. They have no idea how anything works. A lot of this game's community seems dumb. Yeah, I mean, what else do you expect of a game where like the prime content is running around and hitting rocks and turning big rocks into little rocks and then turning the little rocks back into big rocks. I mean, you're not necessarily, you're gonna get a lot of grugs and bugs in here, you know. Yeah, some ooga boogas, yeah. Goddamn fucking cavemen. This is just sad. Like, play New World. I enjoy a game more the less I go on its respective subreddit. That's right. What a successful way to look at a game. What a great way. The less I inform myself about the game, the more I enjoy the game. What a great mindset to have. That's what an absolutely great mindset to have. I mean, it's true. I don't think it's true at all. So many trees, but I'll do it again tonight. I've done it 3 times. Shut up, bitch. The more you avoid social media in general, the more you enjoy just about anything, honestly. I don't know why these people that hate social media are so addicted to getting themselves mad. Whenever I go on Facebook, I see my friends that I grew up with in high school that are having like families now, and they're taking pictures and their kids going to kindergarten or pre-K for the first time, and they're happy with their wife, and it's great. I love to see that. Why are people who are... Why are these people like addicted to making themselves mad? It's just so pathetic. When you need to be informed about a game, for most people it's an entertainment medium, not a job. You don't need to be informed about a game, but I think that by the nature of saying that the more I learn about the game, the less I like it, acting if that's a good thing, like, try to find a way that makes sense and doesn't sound fucking retarded in any other circumstance. Oh yeah, I like this thing, and the more I know about it, the less I like it, so I don't want to know anything about it. Yeah, ignorance is bliss. I think it's fine if people want to do that. Just don't give your opinion the same weight as somebody who actually does actually look into it and try to figure out how to make it better. Just take my money. It's on par with any game launches. They disappear over time, but yeah, they are annoying. Yeah, not as annoying as posts like this. Every game that comes out, the community does this. Valheim, Shadowlands, and I'm going to bed Endwalker. Valheim, this did not happen at all. Yeah, this is not every game. This is not true. Like, these people just don't know anything. Shadowlands didn't have this happen. Classic WoW never had this happen. People were very happy about this. Witcher 3 never had this happen. Valheim was a good launch. Yeah, and it wasn't even fully released. It was still in early access. Classic was a bad example. Yeah, I think it is. You're right. And what about Hades? I didn't see posts about this about Hades. How about Path of Exile? The most recent League was obviously not received very well. But the one before that, people enjoyed Ritual. And people were very positive about it. Let me think of some other ones. Ultimatum. Yeah, some people aren't liking Ultimatum, that's true. But people like Ritual a lot. I forgot about Ultimatum. Subreddit's always full of hate for PoE. No, it hasn't always been like that. I think people, like, about halfway through the league, people start getting salty that they don't have a headhunter, so then they start posting on Reddit. But for the first half of the league, people are just excited about the game. BDO launch had barely any negativity for the first 3 months. Yeah. Genshin Impact subreddit was really hype after release. Well, it's so funny that, like, a comment like this that's just blatantly wrong, that anybody can come up with multiple examples that immediately counter it, is upvoted at pretty much the very top of the thread. What a tragedy. What an absolute fucking tragedy. It's just so much worse on a game that I'm so thoroughly enjoying to see these people. I joined low sodium Cyberpunk for the same reason. Really cool. Low sodium? They should rename themselves to low testosterone. It would be more accurate. I feel like I see one of these per week on every gaming sub I'm a part of. I don't really think so. I think there's a lot of people that offer quality feedback in a lot of games. What's the title of this post? How I'm a stupid baby. And, it begins with the best Reddit title ever, unpopular opinion. It should be an unpopular opinion. Yeah, at least this guy's calling him out for his bullshit. Two-hour-old account. Yeah. Yeah. Cringe post. Thank God. I'm glad to see people calling this shit out. Most MMO subs are this toxic as well. Anybody who goes on the Guild Wars 2 subreddit, is the Guild Wars 2 subreddit toxic? No, it's not. The Final Fantasy subreddit isn't toxic. Is the RuneScape subreddit toxic? OSRS is super toxic? RS is really? The OSRS Reddit is toxic. I've never heard anything like that before. Isn't toxic, it's Mimi. Yeah, I feel like it, like everything that I've never received any negativity from the RuneScape community at all. I've received only positivity. So to hear that is like just really a surprise. I don't really believe it. It's not super toxic, but it has its moments because weird decision by Jagex. Well, I think that like it's very easy to like, people being really upset about a change is not necessarily toxic. Not only is this stuff very negative, as someone who's been here for a long time, the period between the last 2 betas and launch were way fucking worse. Any criticism feedback that was brought up was instantly downvoted by an angry mob of fanboys. Yeah, I remember I got a ton of hate whenever I criticized the game. I would not say toxic, but I would say too passionate. I think that toxic is whenever you take things outside of the realm of the game and you make them personal. Generally. I mean, like, obviously there's a lot more to it, right? So, like, for example, with the Blizzard stuff, like, I take it outside of the game because I think that's where it's coming from. But I think that generally, yeah, I think it's a bad idea. None of the above are our problem. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not our problem to grin and bear it because Amazon can't figure out how to make a server that can hold more than 2,000 people inside of it. I mean, it's just... it's fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. Low sodium New World. Is this real? It's a private community. Smart. That way nobody can come in and criticize the game. Wow. I'm afraid this game is a one-time purchase for $40. But still, shouldn't you expect the stuff that was in the game whenever you bought it to work? I mean, fine. Like, I'm alright. So they never add in new content. Then yeah, sure, you can make a post like this, whatever. But like... But why doesn't the things that are in the game now not work? Because you bought it for that's the stuff that you bought. What do you expect? You only bought the game? You only bought it once. You didn't even buy the collector's edition. How many skins did you buy? 3? Oh, okay, and now you're asking for new content? Oh my god. Gamers these days. Jeez, this is worse than Gamergate. Oh my fucking god. I bought this shield, wanted to match my sword. Is it the one I think it is? Yeah. You know what's funny about this? Is that the Dryad Kite Shield is actually in the game. It's in the game files. We got it in beta. And it worked properly. So, yes, that's correct. The game has devolved. How? We got it from Genesis. It was like me and Panthu and like a few other guys. Steel Dryad? Yeah, I forgot what it was. Planned maintenance should not be during EU midday. You're right, it should be during US midday, right? Yeah. I don't think it should happen whenever I'm asleep. Separate the regions? Yeah. The reason why they do maintenance, they do global maintenance, No, you're right. It shouldn't be at the same time. You're right. The reason why they're doing it is because it's the same reason why they have everybody server character names are global. It's so they can merge servers later on if the game doesn't do well. It's a smart decision, to be honest, but not necessarily one that fills me with a lot of confidence. AFK booted for phishing. Please fix. Movement key presses, yeah. It's supposed to give you a warning. Yeah, WoW gives you a warning. Who's patching this game? Toddlers? No, it makes sense, like, why it happened, right? Because, like, basically it's not registering key presses inside of the phishing UI. Like, it's understandable. Like, I can understand, like, this is a problem. I can see how it could happen. It's totally understandable. However, fix the fucking game. You know? Yeah, that's nice. Okay, I understand. All right, you fucked up. I see how you could have fucked up. Yep, I can see that. All right, that's nice. Now, fucking fix it. There's some ways to combat phishing bots. Yeah, see these botters? Once they make their bot, they can never change it. It's like making a, it's like getting a tattoo. Like, they tattoo the bot on the side of the PC. And they do it with a Sharpie, which is a permanent marker. So they can never go back and rewrite that code because it's written in permanent marker on the side of the PC. And because of that, if you are able to break this bot, they can't do anything about it. They're done. They can't program it to, let's say, leave the phishing UI and press spacebar and then do the same fucking thing again. No, they can't. How could they possibly do that? How is this possible? This gives me hope with AGS handling Lost Ark. I think it'll be fine. Lost Ark will be fine. They know what to do. New World's a new world. Lost Ark isn't. And also, like, I want to say that New World has also been... The developers have been open to a lot of criticism, and they have changed a lot of things in the game. Like, unironically, they really have. It's like, here's an example. I don't even give a fuck about what they're gonna do in WoW, because I know the developers are so far up their own ass that they're never gonna change anything that they should, and they're just fucking stupid, and that's all there is to it. There's never gonna be a solution to this. But with New World, I don't think that's the case. I think many of the developers do genuinely want, even if Amazon, the executives at Amazon don't care about New World, I think the guys that are working on it really do. I think they really do care. There have been developers who've reached out to me, and people that work on the team that have reached out to me, and Rich even. We were trying to get, like, a developer on the show. Like, they've actually been very... they've been great to us. And I think that they do really care about the feedback. That's why I keep giving it. If I thought they didn't care, like Blizzard, I would just be like, okay, fuck it, who cares? you know, have fun, dipshit. Stop playing stupid games and go back to WoW. What do you mean? I thought... What do you mean, dude? Dodging actually requires some skill. Finally, some gameplay. These private commodities. Why would the government ever be controlling? I think this sounds like North Korea, my friend. Listen, Raphael. Dodging doesn't require any skill in New World. It provides you with more iframes than 99 adaptability in Dark Souls 2. You can literally dodge and immune any ability in the entire game. It requires no skill. I'm not even going to respond to this comment. But this comment that you made a couple weeks ago was completely wrong. And you were totally off base on it. Just keep that in mind, Raphael. Nice to see you up and early. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Nah, keep it and fuck the AFK. Oh my god. So this clicking mouse button a skill? Well, what I'm saying is like, so dodging in Dark Souls is much more skillful than dodging in not as I say Valheim. Well, I'd say like parrying in Valheim is much less skillful than parrying in Dark Souls 2, right? But like, I can talk about that later. But like in New World, you have to dodge through an attack in Dark Souls, generally. Like if you dodge with an attack, you roll with an attack, even if you immune the initial strike, whenever you come out of the iframe, you'll still get hit by it. Like bro, this is crazy. A temporary fix for the boss. What's wrong with me? The progression should be 10 times slower. I am an old gamer. I catch myself wondering if we back then in 1995 playing MMO did just not know better, or just had a much different mindset in regards to progress speed. Back then, a grandmaster in skill was something that was an achievement. Holy fuck, I hope I'm not like this whenever I get old. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Oh whoa. Too late? That's your classic Andy. This is why I banned Bat Chest in my fucking chat. Is because I'll read comments like this and I will see the fucking emote and it's not a joke to me. Like, I'll see these people and I'll be like, oh fuck, you know, it's one of these again. Boomers just want to grind. Wholesome. Let's see, does he really want to grind or not? What makes you dislike influencers the most? Serverless should provide overview of the faction's distribution. Yeah. Oh wow, there's not that many people on this faction. Let me go play on this faction. Yeah, let me sign up to lose. Oh yeah. New World right now is like WoW when it released. The WoW Classic experience, all look back, all comfort features everyone is screaming for will destroy New World stage it now has. How does this have 1,000 upvotes? It's like 7 days. I think that he's realizing what happened. This was 7 days ago, and this is 7 days after he ran back and forth to the quest giver to click a rock. 3 times. And as a casual gamer, you did look forward to become a master in one profession in months ahead. Back in Dark Age of Camelot. Other two faction has 2 level 60 in their ranks. That was months later. Level 60 within hours, what's wrong? There wasn't level 60 within hours, it took like 3 days. It was slow, in my opinion. The school year with the clap middle stuff too. This rush culture and fast progress destroys more than today's gamers even catch to understand, I think. Yoshi P addressing Rich on Media Tour? No, what's that, Neo? I'm gonna play Ultima Online without telling me to play Ultima Online. This is what I was saying, right? Yeah, where is it? He's foreign, this is probably translated. No. I don't think it's translated. Because translations usually don't do capitalization. I've seen things that are Google translated many times, and other translations they don't do capitalization. Let's go look at the other thing. Doesn't speak English that well. I'll be honest, like, this might sound like an asshole thing, but if somebody can't speak English properly, I assume they're a fucking moron. Like, and like, this is in the context, by the way, of them being native speakers. If they're a native speaker and they can't speak properly, I just assume they're a moron. Yeah, like, if you speak another language, like, let me tell you something. I speak Spanish like an idiot. I know like 3 words of Spanish. Speak American, I mean. Yeah, American. Should have started with the native language thing. Well, I just assumed that people would assume that. This one felt like a more formal one. Conversation with gamers, talking about stuff. I was going to interrupt top streamers. When we go to talking, knows how to play the crowd. Wish he had better friends, though, as his anti-Final Fantasy friend is such an unpleasant person. McConnell is a fitting role on the stream. Final Fantasy doesn't need his validation regardless. McConnell is always unpleasant, and WoW has hate relationship with the guy. Interesting interviews, wasn't job specific or anything. Yeah. That's what, because I knew I didn't have the knowledge to do an interview like that. I didn't even want to try. Sorry it's so bright. Let me see, actually, can I change it to new Reddit here? Maybe that'll fix it. Oh, it's still fucky. It's a really good interview. Dark. Oh, actually, yeah, I can do that, can't I? Let me see if this is gonna work. If I'm logged in. Yeah, it does. I'm gonna look at a few more of these. I really do have to go to bed. I don't see any Yoshi P comment about this though. I don't know really where that came from. Yeah, I think people are generally pretty positive. It's in the video. Comes from another video. I mentioned Rich doing Yukaba. Okay, I'll have to find it at some point then. We appreciate Amy for taking Asmon's literal essay of a question and translating it, followed by Yoshi's literal essay of a response and translating it back. Yeah, I was really impressed too. I worried because like I remember like I used like a. I know that whenever you're speaking to people in like other languages, it's like not a good idea to use colloquialisms, right? Like I use like a rising tide floats all ships, but apparently it translated over just fine. So like that's like one thing that I don't think people even noticed, but sometimes it can be really hard to do that. My understanding is that I think that I think that Yoshi P speaks English probably like decently well, not very well, but I think he probably speaks it enough to have at least a casual conversation with somebody. But probably the reason why he uses a translator is just so he doesn't accidentally say something that could make the company look bad, which is a smart decision. I think it's, yeah, 100%, yeah. Yeah, probably a little bit, maybe a little bit better. Oh, God. Kojima does it as well? Yeah, no doubt. Fuck. I thought it was really insightful that that he mentioned that a lot of people, a lot of people from North American regions were asking for harder, smaller tier content, smaller size content. No, I thought that was really insightful. Brand awareness is part, yeah. I always really am. I'm very interested in those differences between like different cultures. Find it very interesting. Pretty bullshit. Asma got invited to this thing. Maybe whenever I get Necromancer, this guy will shut the fuck up. Yeah, video's doing really well. My editors are gods, by the way. This is such a great thumbnail. Alex, I don't know who this guy is. This is amazing? Really? Huh. Yeah. Look at it later on. He spoke to Soken? Oh. Yeah, it was a huge privilege for us to be able to do this. And I'm still kind of surprised that it even happened. Honestly, like in a way, I kind of just wrote off it happening. I was like, it's not gonna happen. And yeah, I mean, they were just completely relaxed and chill. Could you imagine someone from Blizzard doing this? Honestly, like, I could imagine. The truth is, I could very easily imagine a lot of guys from Blizzard doing this. 100% I could. Like, I know devs from Blizzard, and some of them, I know this might be a surprise, are normal people. Yeah. It's not that they don't want to, it's that many of them can't because of the corporate structure. Yeah, they're not allowed to. And like, by the way, I asked like what do they want to talk about, what do they not want to talk about, or you know, like, for example, like what, like, give me an idea of like what's on or off the table. And they basically just said, like, just talk about whatever you want, right? Like, we don't need to really get the questions ahead of time or anything. So yeah, they were just like, yeah, do whatever you're gonna do. And it's like, the thing is, like, I think the reason is, like, they trusted us that we would ask good questions and be respectful. And we reciprocated that by doing that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good thing. It's a proper interview. Asking for questions beforehand is weird. I understand why companies ask for questions beforehand. The reason why they ask for questions beforehand is so they can make sure that the interviews that they do stay on message for a new release, and that they can make sure that they have great answers for the questions that will be asked. Like, I understand it and I can respect that decision, But I think that both of them are good. That's soulless? No, it's not soulless at all. It's calculated, but I wouldn't say it's soulless. For different legal reasons do that? Well, yeah, but I think there's just, it depends. 9 out of 10 companies do that. Maybe, yeah. Like companies want to ask, correcting this point. Yeah, but to me, like, it's the same thing as, like, it's like the leaks, right? It's like, I wouldn't want to leak anything because it's like, usually to me, it's like if somebody trusts me and somebody gives me the reason, like, they do me a favor and they're helping me, like, I'm never going to, take advantage of that or something like that. People ask too many gotcha questions, which is just awkward. Well, yeah, exactly, and I think that they knew that we're not... Like, the truth is, like, I wouldn't really ask a lot of questions. Like, if I ever got to interview Ian, for example, from WoW, or I got to interview, like, Mike Ybarra, quick, I wouldn't ask any gotcha questions or any weird shit like that at all. Like, I would treat that as a huge opportunity, and I'd be super grateful to have it. Like, I would ask direct questions that were difficult, sure. But I wouldn't ask any weird, like, haha, you know, like, I'm gonna be funny. Yeah, why waste your own time? Yeah, why even do that? My question is, Ian, why do you lie? Yeah, exactly. It's worth giving people YouTube profit for cuts of my stream. Seems unreasonable. The truth is that I take pride in being able to give other people a good living from making money off of my content, and it's not really a problem for me. I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. And I think that what I get out of it is worth more than what I pay into it. It's that simple to me. I think that I have a great YouTube channel because I have great editors. You get what you pay for. One time there was somebody who was an officer, not an officer, they were like really unhappy and they were gonna quit the guild. And they were just like really like pissed off about how things were going in the guild. And instead of letting them quit the guild, I promoted them up to officer. And they were one of our best officers that we'd ever had. Ironically, that's what they did with me too. That's how I became officer. How's the guild now? Oh, it sucks. But it didn't always. Back then, it was good. And actually, it doesn't suck. Cody's actually been putting in work into the guild. Like, we're not where we used to be, but like, I mean, for how little time Cody's had with the guild, he's actually been popping off. He's been doing a great job. Still clearing heroic? Oh no, they're clearing a lot of mythic bosses too now. Do you think WoW will make a comeback? They're gonna have to wait probably till next expansion and cut out a lot of the egos and shit like that. It's gonna be hard for that to happen. Final opinion on New World? I'll let you know whenever I'm finally done playing it. Anyway, guys, I have to go to bed. It's 6 in the morning, and I'm a fucking idiot. So I'll see you guys later. Honestly, I've stayed up late because today the doctor said my mom is doing well, and honestly I don't want to wake up tomorrow and hear that's not the case. So let's just try to ride that high for as long as we can. Oh, fuck. I'll see you guys tomorrow, probably. Peace.